Hello and welcome. This is the Astrology of the Week Ahead podcast. I'm your host, Chani Nicholas.
It's that time of year, y'all. The Chani holiday store is live and ready for your gift list. And yes, self-gifting counts too. Shop our bestsellers and holiday exclusives at chani.com before they sell out. That's chani.com.
And in this episode, we are talking about the week of October 16th. Let me say this. The conversations that we are having this week are fascinating. I am so interested to see what is going to come out of this week's conversations. The exchanges that we are going to have, the data that we give and receive, the insights that come look to be quite profound. So I want you to keep your notes app open. Maybe don't publish all of them though, get a second opinion. But definitely keep your notes app open, keep your journals nearby, keep your pencil sharpened, keep your favorite pen close at hand, keep your bestie on speed dial, because this week is just giving us so many opportunities to have conversations that really shift things. So this is definitely tied to last week's eclipse, whatever happened for you on the weekend or over the course of the end of last week is tied to this. Even the week before, really the majority of Libra season is just circling back around to these same topics. And for the last time, I will repeat them because those of you that have been with me for the past couple of weeks are probably really sick of hearing about it, but there's been a rebalancing happening. There is a need to rethink and rework our concept of justice. This week wants to have a conversation about what is just, what is fair, what is equitable, what needs to go, what needs to be prioritized. And there are just some really profound insights that come when we're willing to have really hard conversations. And this is all because the Sun and Mercury are coming together. We call it a cazimi. We love cazimis around here. It's when a planet moves close to the sun, close enough to make what looks like an exact conjunction from our vantage point here on Earth. And so when a planet is getting close to the sun, it's under the sun's rays, we call it. You can't see it. It's not visually appealing anymore. And so it's what we would say like weakened, or the significations of that planet have a harder time. And so up until Thursday, communications are like going through something. Like it's like there's things that are happening, but maybe it's a bit more behind the scenes, or like we can't quite have an explicit conversation that is direct. Especially this is a very Libran season. Libra isn't necessarily great at being direct. It's really good at weighing all the options. And so we might be frustrated in a conversation or many conversations, and we might be feeling like we're getting nowhere. And Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, really interesting things happen. And by Saturday, the conversations shift pretty dramatically as Mercury moves into Scorpio. But until then, it looks like we are working through something in terms of our communications. And again, it's hard to get to the point. It's hard to get to the heart of the matter until we hit this midweek section. On Wednesday, the Sun and then Mercury, so the Sun and Mercury are really close, are making a conjunction with the South Node, which is where eclipses happen. It's close to where the eclipse happened last week in Libra. And so again, we're in these kind of eclipsy moments or themes, which is shadow, light, endings, beginnings, and this is a South Node conjunction, so it's about letting go. It's about what do we need to let go of to come back into balance, or to come into some sort of relationship with justice or equity or fairness in our relationships with each other, within the systems we live within, all of it. And so I'm expecting some pretty important conversations, maybe on the world stage, but definitely, dear diarying it, and hopefully with each other. Like, when we get to that point in a relationship or in a discussion that's challenging, we're like, okay, well, what do you need me to do in order to feel like I hear you, I understand you, or what would I need to do in order to have you feel like okay with this situation? When I hurt somebody, when I've caused harm, I need to ask that person also there's my idea of what I need to do, but then I need to ask that person, like, what would help make this better? And not because I'm lazy or I don't want to do it or want them to give me the answers, but there is that thing of like, well, what is the situation calling for? And it might not be my idea of what the situation needs. I need to check in and get the information necessary to help to reestablish a kind of equilibrium here. So that's what's happening on the 18th. And then on the 19th, Mercury and the Sun come together, which is the cazimi. So it's close on the 18th and it's exact on the 19th. And that's where we get the insight. So if you need help with a conversation, if you need some sort of like facilitation assistance, then there's some cosmic facilitation assistance, it feels like, on the 19th especially. That's a day that's really good for downloads and insights. And the 19th is a great day for clarity. So on the 18th, or right before that, midweek, we come to realize what we might need to release or think about in a different way or say in a different way or approach in a different way in order for our relationships to feel like we're in a kind of harmonious, if we want harmony. Sometimes harmony is not available or not even the goal. So depending on what you want, how you want to come into balance with something, or how you want to balance out the scales of a relationship or a scenario, realizing on the 18th what you need to let go of or offer out. On the 19th, there's clarity. But on the 20th, Mercury goes to square Pluto, which is like, a whole other level of information. It's like getting down even deeper. So it just feels like the conversations are so deep, so insightful, cathartic, and they also get into information that has been held on a subterranean level, like something that's very deep and very underneath the surface. And that's where we were really wanting to go. And then what happens, the Sun also squares Pluto, so it does feel like there's some, again, subterranean material that comes up at the end of the week. And then Mercury moves into Scorpio, which is like down and deep in the mud and in the compost heap, and it wants to know like what is underneath everything. So it just feels like a week that is full of really powerful, really potent conversations that are possibly about wrapping something up or about understanding something on a much deeper level. And again, there's balance, there's harmony, there's justice, there's equality, there's a need to have something be kind of reconfigured, and we're doing it through our conversations. So you might feel this personally. You might notice that there's just so many conversations out in the sphere about these topics, but there's definitely a closure to Libra season that is quite profound because it just has us in the conversation about all Libra themes: justice, equality, fairness, balance, beauty, relationships. Because on Monday, the Sun moves into Scorpio, and then we're in a whole different vibe. So we're really like finishing out this Libra season with, again, a lot of conversations. There's a lot, everyone has a lot to say, it feels like, by that kind of like midweek point and then into the later part of the week. And one lovely thing that's happening on Saturday is that Venus is making a trine to Jupiter. Venus is in Virgo, hardworking Virgo. Jupiter is in Taurus, Venus's sign. So it feels like this is productive luxury. It feels like this is really grounded pleasure. And it feels like this is a really nice bright spot or moment of ease that is facilitating something that's really helpful for us in our relationships. So that's great. That is also the backdrop of all of this. So it does feel like we are getting to the heart of the matter, to the deeper understanding of how to communicate in certain relationships, and we're being given some gifts around that this week. And it's important to go there, to have the conversations, especially first, like maybe even on the page, like writing things out, taking it to therapy, taking it to a trusted friend or mentor, but being willing to go through the discomfort of talking about things that are hard to talk about because we might not have the tools yet. But we will never develop the tools if we don't try and get it wrong and try again and just be human and in the process of trying to be in relationship and conversation with one another. The other thing is that on Sunday, Mercury makes a trine to Saturn, and that is a really nice stabilizing kind of conversation. So even if the conversations are a little tumultuous and they go back and forth between being clarifying and deep and intense and tumultuous, by the end of the week, something happens where things kind of settle and stabilize and feel like they are really clear and concise. So we get there. It's just about our willingness to, again, have the conversations that maybe we don't know how to have. And it's good to be in those places. It's good for us to be in necessary discomfort. And this week will definitely give us an opportunity to do so. And again, get those nuggets of like absolute clarity and insight. And that's how we get there. All right, y'all. Sending you lots of love, many blessings. We have an eclipse next week. We have a lunar eclipse next week. So come back. We will talk about what that means. It's the last eclipse of eclipse season, but we're still very much in it this week.
Thank y'all so much for leaving us reviews in the App Store. I wanted to leave you with this one. It's called A Compass Towards Healing. This app is an incredible tool that helps me plan for my upcoming week. After listening to the weekly update, reading about my individual transits, and listening to my personalized reading for my rising sign, I have enough information to prepare for challenging astrology, as well as utilize the moments the stars and planets are supporting me. This app fully informs me so I may respond to my upcoming week with courage and wisdom. Thank you, Chani. I feel so grateful to have direct connection and communication to the larger universe.
Take really good care of yourself and each other. Bye for now.